You've seen it a million times in the movies, right? A lock is just a tiny obstacle. But what if I told you the real secret to picking a lock has almost nothing to do with the person doing the picking and has everything to do with a tiny hidden flaw that's built into basically every single lock ever made? Well, today, we're going to unlock the absolutely fascinating world of Locksport. Yeah, you know the scene. The hero's trapped, the timer is counting down, and what's their only tool? A paperclip. Of course. A little bit of wiggling, some intense focus, and click, the door swings open. It's a classic Hollywood moment for sure, but that's all it is, a movie myth. So if a paperclip isn't the magic key, then what is? What's the actual secret to getting a lock open? Well, here's the crazy part. You're not really outsmarting the lock with some clever tool. Nope. You're actually taking advantage of a tiny, unavoidable mistake that was built right into it from the day it was made. All right, let's push past that Hollywood fantasy, because for a massive global community of people, picking locks has nothing to do with crime, it's a sport. You see, for these enthusiasts, a lock isn't really a security device. It's more like a puzzle box. The whole point isn't just to get it open. It's to figure it out, to understand how it works on the inside and solve it. It's this amazing mental challenge. And the prize? Oh, the prize is that incredibly satisfying click when the core finally turns. But how is this puzzle even solvable in the first place? To get that, you need to be let in on the lock's own dirty little secret. Okay, get ready for this, because this is the mind-blowing part. The real key to picking a lock isn't the pick, it's the lock. Seriously, if a lock was machined absolutely perfectly with zero flaws, you couldn't pick it with normal tools. It'd be impossible. But, making things perfect is crazy expensive, so pretty much every lock has these teeny tiny microscopic imperfections. And that is the crack in the armor. That's the opening a picker is looking for. So it all comes down to this one idea, the binding pin. Because of those little flaws we just talked about, when you put a little bit of turning pressure on the lock, one pin, and just one, is going to get stuck before all the others. A picker can actually feel for that one pin that's binding. They set it in the right spot, and then we move on to the next one. It literally turns an impossible task into a simple step-by-step puzzle. Okay, so if the paperclip is officially off the table, what are people actually using? Let's take a look inside a real picker's toolkit. Yeah, the real deal is way more specialized. You've got these super precise hooks for setting pins one at a time. Then you have things like rakes, which are designed to kind of scrub across multiple pins at once to get a faster opening. But honestly, none of that works without the single most important tool in the whole kit, the tension wrench. That's what gives you that turning pressure we were talking about. And believe it or not, even how you apply that tension is an art form. You can tension from the top of keyway, they call it TOK, which usually gives you way better feedback from the pins inside. Or you can go with the more traditional method, from the bottom of keyway, or BOK. A really good picker knows exactly which one to use, because they're basically listening to what the lock is telling them. And this is where you really start to see the personality of the community shine through in the tools themselves. Forget boring part numbers like XJ-7. How about a set of deep hooks called the 3 bones? No, really. You've got the collarbone, the backbone, and the jawbone. I mean, how cool is that? And each one is a super specialized tool for a specific job. But look, the tools are only half the story. What really defines Locksport is the community, and maybe most importantly, the super strict code of ethics that holds it all together. And there is one rule. It is the absolute #1 non-negotiable, unbreakable rule of this community. It's the bright red line that separates this hobby from a crime. You never, ever pick a lock that you don't own, or one you don't have explicit permission to pick, period. These folks are puzzle solvers, not criminals. And don't think this is just some weird fringe hobby. This is a totally legitimate global community. I mean, there are official organizations like the Association of Czech Lockpickers. There are massive international events like LockCon, where hobbyists and pro locksmiths all get together to share tips and tricks. It's a real, recognized sport, and from everything I've seen, it's got a super welcoming vibe. So that kind of begs the question, right? In our age of smart everything, what on earth does the future of this ancient craft even look like? Well, the evolution here is just staggering. Think about it. We've gone from these incredible tiny golden locks made by Roman engineers nearly 2,000 years ago, all the way to modern robots that are being developed to literally feel their way through a lock's pins completely on their own. But the biggest leap? The game isn't just about metal pins anymore.
Today's pickers are hackers, looking for vulnerabilities in the Bluetooth, NFC, and RFID signals that run our smart locks.
And this really brings us to a huge question for the future of, well, all of our security. As we move away from mechanical pins and into a world of Bluetooth signals, are we actually making our locks more secure? Or are we just creating a whole new kind of puzzle for a whole new generation of solvers?
Hey, if you thought this was as fascinating as I did, do us a favor and subscribe to the channel. We do deep dives like this all the time into the hidden side of things. Thanks for hanging out with us.